Hello and welcome to Doordarshan News. I am Sidhant Sibal, and today with us is a very special guest, the former president of Afghanistan, Hamid Karzai. Sir, welcome to Doordarshan News and Your Excellency. ये आपकी दूसरी विजिट है हिंदुस्तान में इस साल में. आपको कैसा लग रहा है?
बड़ा अच्छा लग रहा है. ये सफ़र बहुत ज़्यादा दिन का भी था और खुश भी हूँ क्योंकि सब कुछ अच्छी तरह से चल रहा है और बहुत लोगों से मिल गया, प्रेसिडेंट साहब से मिल गया और उन्होंने डिनर किया था. एक बड़ा अच्छा म्यूज़िकल प्रोग्राम भी था अफ़गानिस्तान का वहाँ पे, और फिर प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब के साथ मिल गया, मोदी साहब के साथ, और बहुत सारे ओकेजन्स थे जहाँ मैंने बात भी की. तो सफ़र बड़ा अच्छा और खुश रहा.
Sir, how important India is for development of the new Afghanistan?
Extremely important. Extremely important. India has been a vital ally in the reconstruction and rebuilding of Afghanistan in the past 13 years. We all know the past friendship between Afghanistan and India, centuries, millennia old. But in the past 13 years, this relationship has grown particularly stronger because India came forward with massive assistance to Afghanistan. India provided more than $2 billion of assistance to Afghanistan in road building, in transmission lines, in construction of dams, building our new parliament house, and more important of all, much more important, giving thousands of scholarships to Afghan youth to educate themselves in India and then to return to Afghanistan, of whom thousands have returned and are now a steady force in Afghanistan.
Okay, sir. But how can India help in infrastructure development, especially at a time when Afghanistan needs lots of infrastructure, lots of roads, lots of national highways, railways? How can India help there?
It has already done that. It built a major road from the border of Afghanistan with Iran in southern Afghanistan, connecting it all the way, southwestern Afghanistan, connecting it all the way to the major highway connecting Herat to Kandahar to Kabul in Dilaram. So that road has been built with a lot of resources and sacrifice of life. So many Indian workers were killed there by terrorists. They gave their life in order to build that road for us. We will remember that and we are grateful. So India has already participated and I'm sure India will do more.
So what are the other sectors would you like India to come and help in rebuilding Afghanistan? You talked about education sector. What are other sectors like energy? Can you give more examples?
Energy and power lines, almost all these sectors India has already helped Afghanistan. What we want now as well between India and Afghanistan is Indian business enterprises, Indian companies coming to Afghanistan to set up business there and to invest in Afghanistan. For example, the Hajikak iron ore is a major iron ore mine where India has taken interest, and we're very keen to have India come and invest there, not only in that iron ore mine, but in lots of other areas of interest where India finds the environment profitable.
So Afghanistan is full of resources and India needs resources. It's one of the fastest growing economies in Asia and of course the world. But why should the Indian businessmen come there? What is the business environment there? The ease of doing business in Afghanistan?
Very good, very good, very good, especially for India. Especially for our big neighbors. China has already come in to invest in Afghanistan in a major way. And I learned yesterday that there were already more than 200 Indian companies working in Afghanistan, so that's good news. More should be done.
But sir, terrorism is a major issue in the whole of South Asia and of course the world. India has been at the receiving end in Afghanistan. We have been attacked, our consulates have been attacked, our embassies have been attacked. Who do you think is responsible for this?
Well, unfortunately, India, Afghanistan, both are under the attack of terrorism, and we know where the sanctuaries are, we know where the terrorists are trained, we know where we get hurt from. And this has been our endeavor for the past so many years to give an end to it by making sure that we develop peaceful, friendly relations with our neighbors and brothers in Pakistan. Pakistan, Afghanistan, and India can live in peace and prosperity. This will continue to be our effort, and we must not give up on it. India should work hard in this, and Afghanistan should work hard.
So you're pointing towards Pakistan for problems in both India and Afghanistan?
I'm not accusing Pakistan of anything. No, I wouldn't do that. No. I'm simply trying to say that we need to have peace in this region of ours, in South Asia, and that peace will not come to us unless sanctuaries and terrorism is dealt with effectively and through means that will bring security to the people of this region, including Pakistan. Pakistan is suffering as well. Now, how Pakistan came to this point of suffering so much at the hands of terrorism is a question that they know how to answer, and we know how it came about. But we're not trying to accuse any country. We're simply trying to bring us to where we want to be, a region of security and moving towards prosperity.
But Your Excellency, all these safe sanctuaries are located in Pakistan, and it's the government of Pakistan whose responsibility is to make sure that these safe sanctuaries are wiped out.
It is absolutely their responsibility. It's the responsibility of Pakistan to get rid of the sanctuaries, and they admitted that it's there. Pakistani leaders themselves have admitted that the terrorism is now the biggest threat to Pakistan's survival. So this recognition is there in the Pakistani leaders' minds, and we hope that this recognition will now turn into a plan of action against these terrorists and for the safety of all of us.
So you, in a sense, ruled Afghanistan for almost 13 years. At a certain point, did you felt frustrated from Pakistan's not listening to you, and of course India, and especially not acting on the terrorists and especially the safe sanctuaries?
Of course, one feels frustrated for not having gotten to peace sooner, and for still continuing to suffer from incidents of insecurity, bombs, terrorist attacks, suicide bombs. But frustration should not stop us from continuing to work for peace, and we must continue to work for peace by all means available.
Recently, India called off talks with Pakistan over this issue, and also we know the fact that our borders have been volatile, they have been constant violation from Pakistani side. Do you think India did the right thing by calling off the talks?
Well, India has worked hard for the fight against terrorism and for security and stability in this region. And India is rightly placed to choose the method of it seeking peace and talks with our brothers and neighbors in Pakistan. So the requirement of an approach to peace is what India is well suited to set up and apply.
But do you support India's action? I mean, would Afghanistan would have done the same thing if there was some kind of peace talks happening between Afghanistan and Pakistan? And
of course, and we have done it at times, Surely, you need to react to incidents that cause harm and hurt to your people. So, but that does not stop you also from seeking peace.
Okay, sir. Sir, the SAARC summit is all set to become start in Kathmandu. What do you think this grouping has for itself in future? Because as of now, SAARC hasn't done great in a sense. Like the ASEAN, when we compare to ASEAN, SAARC still needs to evolve. What do you think will be the future of this grouping after this summit?
Prime Minister Modi has been right in emphasizing that he wants to commit himself to strengthening SAARC and to putting SAARC into a stronger machinery that generates impact in this region for the good of this region. And we all support his commitment to this, and that's what we need in this region. SAARC can be a very powerful organization, not only for economic movement in this region, for the upliftment of the millions and millions of people in this region, but also for greater cooperation in the larger region that we have, Central Asia and Shanghai Cooperation Organization as well. These two organizations can bring security and the betterment of life to this region.
So this time around, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi goes to Kathmandu, the President of Afghanistan, the new President of Afghanistan will also be there. Do you think that the Ashraf Ghani meet and Prime Minister Narendra Modi's meet will steal the thunder this time around? Because it's the first meet between the new President
I'm sure it will be a very good meeting, and the meeting is already being worked on. So it will be a good meeting, and I'm sure it will take Afghan-Indian relationship further.
Sir, we have a new government. It's been 6 months. Prime Minister Narendra Modi took charge. How do you think that the new regime in India will help the entire region, especially under Prime Minister Narendra Modi?
It has the intentions. It has the means. So if both are there, result will be there, and I'm sure there will be.
It has the means. Can you elaborate on that?
It has the intentions. It has the means to work, and the intention to do the work. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has already explained this and committed to it. So I'm sure when there is a will, there's a way. And especially in the case of India, not only that there's a will, there's also the means to the achievement of this will. So we are sure we will have a result.
So can SAARC, the grouping, can become like ASEAN one day? Because we know about ASEAN.
Definitely. It has a huge engine behind it. It's India as a major locomotive power in this region, and with all other regions willing to cooperate, we hope also that our brothers in Pakistan will cooperate with this vision, so we can not only have security, but also a movement forward for the great masses of this region to see better days.
So if you look at the geographical position of Afghanistan, it is very strategically placed between South Asia and Central Asia. It's like the center of Asia. How can, like, Asia is the next growing region of the world, how can Afghanistan, which is like the heart of Asia, can help in Asia's development?
By all means available to it, by way of connecting Central Asia and South Asia. It has already, in centuries before, provided this connectivity. It wants to do the same, and by making itself available for investment and the exploitation of the Afghan mineral wealth for the good of the Afghan people and for the benefit of this region. So connectivity and investment and the work towards the realization of in Asia, South Asia, that's better off.
So you were at the helm for almost 13 years in Afghanistan, from starting in 2004 to 2014. How has life changed in Afghanistan from way back in 2004 till today?
A lot better. A lot better. We are a better economy. We are more educated. We have millions of children going to school. We are a democratic country. There is a new president, and I'm the former president. And
the founding father of the new Afghanistan.
Hopefully, I wish I could do that. And a better government. The state has been recreated in Afghanistan, and the government machinery is recreated in Afghanistan. A lot has changed, luckily for us. We have problems too, of course.
But do you have any regrets that you couldn't do any something you wanted to do?
Surely there are regrets in any work that you do. I could have done some of the things differently, surely.
Like?
For example, I see now that the free market economy unchecked is not the right thing for a country in our situation. That could have been different, and there could have been changes in our constitution. For example, the introduction of the ministers to the parliament to the National Assembly is the right thing, but their dismissal through the National Assembly causes serious difficulties for smooth function of the government, and similarly lots of other issues there.
So also the fact that now you're the former president, but still you will be, when the history of Afghanistan will be written, your name will be taken. And now you're not the president, so do you feel relaxed, less tense now?
Very relaxed, yes, very relaxed. I I take more time in the afternoon for myself, and I do my exercises, so I have more time to read. During the daytime, I remain busy, of course, but in the afternoons, I have more luxury of taking the time in my own hands.
But still, I mean, sir, you are an influential figure in Afghan politics and Afghanistan. How would you like to help Afghanistan more so that it develops and becomes the dream Afghanistan?
By all the means available to me as a citizen of Afghanistan.
Okay,
I would continue to do that.
Okay,
yes.
So also the fact that when you were the president, there were a number of assassination attempts on you. Do you fear for your life?
No. I don't fear for that. I'm still around, and we all trust in God, and that will keep us protected.
So American involvement was a key issue when you were the president. How do you see their involvement in your country?
Well, we like them helping Afghanistan, and we are grateful to the American people for the support that they have provided to us in Afghanistan. But of course, as you know, I had serious difficulties with the way some of their military activities took place in Afghanistan, the way certain methods were applied through the military in Afghanistan. That was a major friction, and I've already spoken about that, so you know my views on that.
I was about to go on that. You were at an event and you said that Americans are running with the hare and hunting with the hound. Just elaborate on that.
This means that they did not go to work politically on removing the sanctuaries for terrorists, on removing the training grounds for terrorists, on removing the financial contributions to terrorists, or the ideological inputs to terrorist organizations and terrorists themselves. That rather than doing that, they concentrated on bombing Afghanistan, on conducting raids on Afghan homes. So that's what I meant, that they should have had one stand clear. Where there is terrorism promoted, bring pressure and stop it.
So what was stopping the Americans? What in your view?
I can't tell. I don't know. But I guess this is a question that they have to answer themselves.
Okay. But you think that the Americans, their policy was not right? They should have targeted somewhere else, perhaps
Definitely.
Pakistan and not Afghanistan?
Definitely. Not targeted in terms of attacking, no. But they should have worked with Pakistan more closely to end that environment.
With more political pressure?
All sorts of political whatever else, but not attacks, surely not attacks. To bring pressure and to apply diplomacy and logic and persuasion and to stop the growth and the promotion and the sustenance of terrorists there.
So, but would that have worked? Because globally, Pakistan is facing pressure on to act on terrorism, but it still hasn't.
Well, it may or may not have worked, but we should have tried.
We should have tried. So, also the fact that you were the first person to say that Osama bin Laden was not in Afghanistan, but in Pakistan after the Abbottabad incident. Do you feel that you were somehow betrayed, or you felt sad with your response from the world community and especially the Americans?
Well, we had our information and our insight into things, and I spoke at the time, and I proved right.
So, but why weren't the Americans listening then?
I don't know. This is something that only they can answer.
But what was your response when you used to tell them?
Of course, we kept talking to them, to the Americans about it. We kept persuading them. We kept asking them. We kept informing them in the hope that they would act accordingly.
And what you got? Did you go to silence?
Silence and no action.
Okay, and no action from the Americans. So now there is a new regime in Afghanistan, new president Ashraf Ghani. What do you think will be key challenges in front of him?
The challenges of a poor country, of a developing country, of a country that needs peace to come, of a country that needs to keep its independence strong and intact, of a country that keeps its sovereignty intact. And all the work that I did, the new president is doing and needs to do.
Sir, you have been criticized for saying that Taliban is your brother. Taliban's, the grouping is your brother. I mean, but Taliban is one group which nobody likes now, and getting associated with them, in a sense, gives you a bad press.
Yes.
So how would you justify?
But they were Afghans. They're Afghans. They're the citizens of Afghanistan. And I know, and I knew then, when I came to know that, the war in Afghanistan was not so much the initiative of the Taliban. This was an external interference in Afghanistan. The war into Afghanistan, the attacks in Afghanistan were coming from an external source, from sanctuaries, as I mentioned earlier, in which the Taliban were used. So I was trying to separate the Taliban from that external influence and to bring them back to Afghanistan and to free them from being used against their own country. So it was in that sense that the issue was external, not internal to us, that I call the Taliban brothers.
But can there be a good Taliban and a bad Taliban?
Well, a good Taliban is someone that is not ideologically a terrorist, that is not in the pay of a foreign force to commit terrorist, that is being forced by circumstances out of his hand to go and do something against his own country. Those that can be brought into the society back as normal citizens, why not? Those are good people. We should do that. But those who are not redeemable at all, and those who wouldn't give up terrorism, or those who wouldn't give up serving foreign masters, of course they are then the bad ones.
So the first decade of this century was very important when it comes to terrorism. The start was with the fall of the WTC. What in your view is the solution to the problem of terrorism?
Recognition and then action. Recognition is there, action is not there.
And what kind of action would you like to see?
Action that would remove them, that would dry out their sources of money, that would dry out their sources of training, that would remove their sanctuaries.
And what is the sources of their of terrorism in a sense?
Well, it's just as I mentioned.
Pakistan.
Well, I'm not going to accuse a country.
Okay.
I'm simply trying to say a fact that there is terrorism in this region, and somebody is doing it. And I hope that somebody will stop doing it.
Somebody should stop doing it, but
exactly.
there is no action. I mean, India has been trying to tell the world for a long time. That
exactly.
But the world, it seems, was not listening. And when it started...
well, it didn't listen, so look where we are.
Okay.
So I hope now that things have gone so bad that they will start to understand and listen.
But do you think now the situation is improving with so many peace talks? In a sense, your president visited, it was his second visit.
Hopefully it will improve, and also for us to succeed, there is the need for cooperation between India, China, Russia, Afghanistan and Iran, and also hopefully Pakistan will recognize this and join this cooperation.
So I'd like to end my interview with a personal question. India is an important country for you personally. Your university, Himachal Pradesh University, you did your graduation there. So tell us one more personal thing which makes India very close to your heart.
Well, it's the same civilization as Afghanistan. We have lived for thousands of years together. We are essentially the same people. So we share a lot. It's like one family.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure talking to you. And of course, this SAARC summit, we hope that some major action will be taken, and for the betterment of this entire region, from Afghanistan, Pakistan, India to all the way Sri Lanka and Nepal.
Hopefully.
Okay, sir. Thank you so
much.
All
the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, young man. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, that was all in this edition of the special interview. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.